We're just waiting on the streams to start, Keith, and then we'll go. I only have two stories to tease before I come to you.
Okay, I'll be ready.
Okay. Yes, sir. What'd you say? Good afternoon. Welcome into the WBAY newsroom and to our First Alert Fastcast. I'm Chris Roth. We're interrupting local news live now to let you know what we are working on here locally this afternoon on WBAY. We want to tell you that WBAY was the first to learn that the Green Bay area public schools are now investigating comments made by Superintendent Claude Tiller while on a recruiting trip last week in Atlanta. Tiller, who began his duties as superintendent last summer, made the comments during an appearance on a nationally syndicated talk show. On social media, Tiller said he was in Atlanta for a recruitment trip that included an interview with Relationship Talk with Dr. Adrian. According to the host, that show was about navigating educational leadership insights from the first black superintendent of Green Bay Public Schools. What Tiller said on that show back on February 6th is now what's under review. The Board of Education releasing a statement to us here at WBAY saying they are aware of that interview, and the board has a regularly scheduled meeting tonight. Our Brittany Schmidt is working on this story. We'll have updates for you coming up tonight on Action 2 News at 4, 5, 6, and then we'll tell you what happens at that meeting coming up tonight on Action 2 News at 10 o'clock. Also, we are following the ongoing story here about Congressman Mike Gallagher's surprise Saturday announcement that he will leave Congress after serving his term and will not seek re-election in November. Republican will not seek re-election in the 8th District. That's a seat he's held now for 4 terms. Gallagher's decision caught many people off guard. It creates a vacuum around a seat that hasn't had a Democratic challenger since 2020. Now it could see its first open GOP primary since 2016. That's when Gallagher first ran for Congress. That year, Gallagher was running for the seat vacated by Reed Ribble, who retired. Ribble, who served 3 terms, is going to join me today on Action 2 News at 4:30. We'll discuss Mike Gallagher's decision, and we'll discuss the potential field to replace him as well. It's a fascinating discussion, and it be interesting to see how the field unfolds. We already know that former State Senator Roger Roth of Appleton has announced he will seek that seat. He made that announcement shortly after Mike Gallagher's announcement on Saturday. There are some other names that have been thrown about. Jason Zimmerman working on that angle of this story today. But again, Mike Gallagher not going to seek a 5th term in Congress, and the man he replaced will join us today at 4:30. We were also working on a story that the Shawano County Humane Society is caring for a dog that was shot twice in the face and abandoned. Atlee is undergoing medical treatment now. The Shawano County Sheriff's Department is investigating. Emily Byer working on this story today. She'll have more coming up later on this evening. Let's take a look around the area here at our weather. Let's see if we can call this one up. It's one we want to see right here. We're talking about Shawano. There's a look at our Shawano Sky Camp. Beautiful weather there. You can see all the open water on the river as well as we've had these mild temperatures. And let's find out what's in store for us coming up as we bring in Keith Gibson, our meteorologist from our First Alert Weather Center. Keith, let me get your mic going and tell us, are we going to see more of these beautiful blue skies for a while?
Well, I think today's probably going to be the bluest of the blue for the week. We do have some changes coming our way. Actually, a sneaky record high in Green Bay as we have tied the old record today of 45. Can you believe that? Hunter's overachieving just a little bit. But I tell you what, if you can take advantage of the next couple of hours, it's still pretty good. The old record, 45, set back in 2005 in Green Bay. As of now, it's 45 degrees here. Now, don't get used to it. We have some colder air back across the North Woods, low 30s, even some 20s out in Duluth. A frontal boundary has already moved through. Winds are becoming more northwesterly, eventually northerly, and that will usher in cooler air tonight. So let me go through the timeline real quick. It's mild. It's sunny in most spots here as of mid-afternoon, but we'll cool things down into the 20s tonight. Wind chills could get down into the upper teens and low 20s. It's going to be a brisk day tomorrow, but still above average, but it's not going to be as warm. Low and mid-30s in most spots, Chris, and as we get into Wednesday, Valentine's Day, we pop back up into the upper 30s and low 40s again. So a bit of a temperature roller coaster here, but still above average. We are watching out for one weather maker this week. This is going to be Thursday morning, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. There is a chance for a coating to maybe a couple of inches of snow. We're thinking a coating to maybe up to 3 inches. Now, this is obviously not a crippling storm or snow event, but it's been so quiet the last couple of weeks that this will be a shock to the system. But this is the only chance of any significant snow we have in the near term.
Keith, we have not had a lot of measurable snowfall this season, right? I mean, this might be, what, a handful of days? If it happens on Thursday, you could probably count them on one hand this year.
Yeah, most of the days fell within that blizzard week, and most of the snow fell during that week, too. And so not a lot of snow days. We've had some snow, of course, and we are suffering from some significant snowfall deficits. And I do have a graphic that we'll be talking about at 4 o'clock showing you the most snow we've had at this point in any year, the least amount of snow, and it seems like.
Do you want me to put that up right now? I can throw it up right now.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay, there we go.
I'm glad.
Look at that. The magic fingers are working. Yep.
So we've had, 28.7 inches of snow. We should have today 36.1. Now you have to go back to late 1800s, 82.2. That's the most snow we've ever had through this date in a winter season. Obviously, it's falling way short this year, but we've had as little as only 6.9. That was back in the 60s. And you think, well, we've got to have, this has got to be skewing way low as far as where we have had snow on this particular date. And 28.7 is low, but it's like right in the middle of the pack.
Right, so I'm shocked it's so close to normal, to be honest with you.
Right, I mean, it just seems like it has been very quiet, and it has, because most of that snow, the overwhelming majority of that snow fell on one day, the blizzard day. So it's kind of misleading, but when you sum it up as a season, we have had some snow, but right now, if we don't see any significant snow with the system on Thursday, again, a couple of inches, really a big whopper of a storm, really not expected anytime soon. And if you remember last year, Chris, we had the warmth and the wildfire situation in March of last year because we didn't have any snowpack. Right now, we don't have any snowpack. It's all vanished, and that's why we're extremely warm today. And I'm getting a little bit concerned as we march forward, but we'll see.
Yeah, it could be ripe conditions for fires come spring.
Could be,
so
but
dry, right? Yeah.
A lot of folks don't want to have a big, heavy, wet snow at the end of winter, but we kind of need it to kind of quell the wildfire threat. But we'll be watching Thursday morning for a chance for a little bit of snow.
Sounds good. Thanks, Keith. We appreciate it. We'll see you coming up at 4 o'clock today, and we thank you for joining our First Alerts Fastcast this afternoon. We'll see you back here on Action 2 News at 4, 4:30, 5, and 6 o'clock, and of course, again, coming up tonight on Action 2 News at 10. But now we'll send you back to Local News Live. Have a good afternoon.